Last spring's spending for the Wisconsin Supreme Court was over $100 million, according to the Brennan Center for Law. But right now, it's not looking like we're going to break that record. Campaign finance reports were due on Thursday. To help break it all down, I sat down with political analyst and former Republican strategist Brandon Scholz just as we were beginning to see these numbers come out. Thanks for joining us today.
Nice to be here.
So I want to get started because we're seeing these numbers roll in, but I want to kind of talk about why they matter. Why should we pay attention to fundraising?
Well, at this stage of the game, really early, people want to know which campaigns are doing really well, which candidates are doing really well. And there's only a few things you can look at right now. One of them is how much money do they raise? Have they raised a lot of money? And where did they get it from? Did they get it from like 2 or 3 really rich people? Or did they get it from a couple hundred people that wrote small dollar checks? So those things are important. If you're getting money from lots of people, a lot of $100 checks and 25, and you have a couple of thousand donors, that suggests a really nice base of support. It also means that those people will continue to donate. So small dollar donors are known for writing a $25 check and another one and another one and another one between now and the election. So that's good to have that base. For those that write big checks, $10,000 checks, they're limited to how much they can write. So you have to find more and more and more of those donors. So how much money you raise, not only in the very beginning like we're dealing with now, but throughout the course of the campaign, that's one of those metrics that people just look at to determine how well you're doing and if you're being accepted.
So let's start. We're going to break down these races for the spring and then for the fall one. So I want to start with the Supreme Court election and talk about the disparities we're seeing in numbers here. Kind of break down what we're seeing, what it means.
Well, first of all, the last race was $110 million by both candidates, and the one before that was $55 million. So those big numbers are out there. In this race, people are going to look at this race and say, well, how are you doing compared to that one? This is a different dynamic because the majority is not in jeopardy for the liberals and the conservatives can't win it. So they're going to have to figure out how to stay in the game. What you're seeing now is the liberal candidate, Chris Taylor, has been very successful raising money, a little more than $2.5 million. Maria Lazar, the conservative, has gotten into the race late. So that impacts how much she can raise. But to date, I think it's been about $250,000. So there's a disparity there. So people are going to look at that and go, boy, oh boy, how, this campaign is really going to have to get moving. But remember what happened in the last race, too. A lot of outside groups came in and spent their own money. They didn't talk to the candidates. They came in and did their own ads. They did their own voter ID. They did their own turnout. That's going to happen, I should say. It could happen again. It has a history of happening. So not only is it the candidates' money, which we know there's a discrepancy in there, but also the outside groups and how much are they going to come in and spend. We don't know that yet.
So it's not a done deal.
It's not a done deal, but I think, if you haven't raised money early on when you got into the race, did you excite people? Did they see you get in the race? They go, oh, I want to support that person. So it's still early. This is all this fall. You had the holidays in here and everything. But in the Supreme Court race, that's an April election. So there isn't much time now between now and April. There's no primary because it's just the two. They're going to have to step up the game and raise some money because otherwise there's just no other way to get around it.
Well, let's talk about the governor race now.
Sure.
I think that's kind of the big talker, especially with so many people in the Democratic primary field. Does this kind of give us an idea of who's starting to pull ahead?
It's interesting to see what early money is coming in. We haven't seen it from everybody, but you've seen some campaigns have raised, $1 million, $900,000, $400,000. And I think that's pretty significant in a 10-way primary. You look at the top 3 or 4 campaigns and how much money they've raised. We don't know what Mandela Barnes has raised, but we know that Joel Brennan raised, $500,000 or so. We see David Crowley has raised $900,000. You've seen what other campaigns have raised. Those are all good starts, especially in a 10-way primary. That's a lot of people. And if you're a donor, you kind of think, who do I want to go to? So it's really incumbent upon campaigns to be able to reach out to people and go, here's why I'm going to win. And this is why I need your check for $100 or $3 or whatever those things are that they ask for. Early money indicates how well a campaign is doing. Is it the candidate asking for money? Is the campaign well organized? Do they have people on the street asking for money? It's all of those things.
And I want to talk, too, about the Republican side of this. Obviously, we just have 2 candidates. Is money something we should be following on that side?
Sure, because it's a two-way primary. You know, when Tom Tiffany got in, people thought, well, he's going to raise some money and, you know, can he push out Josh Schoeman? Well, Tiffany's raised a little over $2 million, is what we understand. But Schoeman's raised $900,000. I think that's going to surprise some people. He raised $400,000 when he started. Now he's doubled that. And so, you know, at least at this stage, when this report comes out, they're going to be, you know, close. And so I think that's going to cause people to watch that race maybe a little bit more than what they thought. Certainly the pressure is going to be on Tom Tiffany to raise more money. And there's going to be pressure on Schoeman, or people are going to be watching to see, is he able to continue that fundraising?
That's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to see you.